Welcome to the Christian Contractor Podcast.
Christian Contractor Podcast.
A show created for kingdom-driven Christian contractors that are focused on scaling their business in God's name while positively impacting the world around them. If you're ready to ascend from a contractor to a purpose-driven business owner, we're here to serve you. Here's your host, Brandon Guthrie.
The work culture that keeps good people around. What's up? I'm Brandon Guthrie with Dream Design Labs on the Christian Contractor Podcast, where it's our mission to help Christian contractors bring the passion and purpose back into their business and scale it in the name of God so that we can positively impact the world through the abundance we create together. Thanks for tuning in. I'm very excited to have Zach Payne from Icon Roofing with me today. Zach, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You're out there in Arizona, amazing market, expanding market.
Yeah.
And in the hustle and bustle, you've managed to create and keep a company that is built on a firm foundation rather than is just all about how fast can I move. So I'm excited to dive into that because in the industry, it feels like it's mandatory to just move as fast as you can and step on as many heads as you can to get there. So I think this is going to be a breath of fresh air today.
Sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Awesome, man. Cool. Let's open up a quick prayer. All right. Dear Jesus, I pray that you be with us today, that you be in the industry, that you fill our hearts with the values that you brought, that we would follow and be guided by your principles that you taught us thousands of years ago. And I just pray that you be here in this conversation, that contractors listening in right now, that they could take a breath of fresh air, they could pause and remember why they're doing what they're doing, get centered, get grounded. And I just pray that that you would bless my brother Zach for being here and that he's bringing value and being generous with his time and his information. And I just pray that, for everyone listening in, that they're blessed as well through this information. And that as we go out into the world, that we be the hands and feet and of Jesus and make a positive impact in the world in your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Bam. All right. So before we hop into the magic, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so born and raised in Gilbert, which is a suburb of Phoenix. My wife and our family, we live in Mesa right now, and that's where we operate out of. I started doing roofing 13 years ago in college, working for my uncle, and started from the very, very bottom, literally pulling, besides, I guess, tear-offs, which I have done before, but besides that, it was mostly, hauling trailers, moving material around, kind of being like the grunt, if you want to call it that, working for him, and then slowly and surely, climbed that each rung up to the top of the ladder to actually running one of his companies. And then eventually I tried to buy one of his businesses, the one that I was running, and he wasn't ready to part ways with it. And I was like, it's all good, no worries. Like, I got my own business, or I got my own license, I'll just start my own thing. And that was almost 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in June. So yeah, we've been super blessed ever since, honestly. We are only we're in the residential market. We do some multifamily, very little light commercial. We're not that much into like commercial because it's just not what I grew up doing. And I'm not that familiar and versed with it. So we're trying to take on any big boys if we don't have to. But yeah, that's all we do is roofs. We don't do anything else. We don't do gutters. We don't do siding. We don't do, what else? Painting. Things like restoration. Other people do is we just do roofs. That's it.
Focused. It's like you can start a wildfire with a magnifying glass as long as you focus that energy. But the sun spread out doesn't start any fires, but you focus it, man.
Yep.
You can start a wildfire. I love that. Amazing. Well, it sounds like you've created a great business. From what I've heard is that you have a culture that you've built that is, like I said, it's a breath of fresh air in the industry. So that kind of is a perfect segue into the first question, which is talk to us about your company culture and what makes it special.
Yeah. I learned because I've never been in corporate America. I'll be honest. I tried to when I got my degree from college. I tried to be in HR, and that was a terrible mistake because I realized I don't like HR and I don't want to do it for a living. And so I've only been in like small businesses that, ironically, my family has owned. So I work for my dad who owns a flooring company, and my uncle who owns a roofing company, and I learned some good stuff from them, of course, but there's other things that I learned that I think is a little different. That when I said when I start my own thing, this is how I'd like it to be ran, and because I think there's some things that people just miss. Because yeah, I get it, right? You're busy, you're trying to make money, you're trying to keep the lights on and everybody happy, but I've kind of created this thing of in my mind of if you build it, they will come, but making people that work with us really enjoy where they work. So it's not just every day is the same day. Like for example, we play pickleball every Wednesday as a team. We go to Top Golf like once a month just to, hit balls and lose them.
Huh.
We'll play actual golf, every once in a while. We always have a nice Christmas like dinner / party as a team. Just random stuff that we do throughout the year just to kind of keep it close, because if you don't, you really don't know who you're working with at the end of the day. Like, yeah, you talk to them on the phone about work stuff, but like outside of work stuff, you don't really know who they are, what they have going on, anything about themselves, whether they have a family or not, or what they like to do. So when I started my own company, I try to make that a pretty big priority for us, is like, how can we keep our people happy and keep them as engaged and keep it as fun as we can without being like, this is obnoxious. Like, we're not your friends. Like, we work together, yes, but like, we are friends, of course, but like, we don't expect you to spend every weekend with us, but we do try to have fun during the week.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. And yeah, I think a lot of companies out there are missing the mark on that. And it's how you build a great company. There's a book called Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great book, and it's there's so many things that go into creating a great company, and that's one of them. It not just being about it's not just a math equation. It's also about being a good leader that's selfless, that's not putting themselves in an ivory tower, that's untouchable compared to the rest of the team. Servant leadership. That's what the Bible talks about. That's what Jesus talks about. Is that the ways of heaven are the opposite of the world, which is in the world. Yeah, some leaders will put themselves in an ivory tower, and the opposite, the way of heaven is the first will be last, and the last will be first. It's the opposite, right? So having this servant leadership where all of your team is important to you, and yeah, there's a story in the book where essentially leader, I think it was a leader would go out of their way where they're almost they're struggling to take care of themselves, and they put all their team before themselves. That's essentially the message that I captured from that book, or one of them. And so we do that as well. We do company culture meetings where we just want to I just want to learn about you, who we were working with. It's like we've done it before. Just like literally tell me something that we don't know about each other. And they're like, whoa, like what the heck? Like, I didn't know that about you. That's so cool. And it creates a tighter bond that will allow us to over deliver as a team, work together as a team, get each other's backs more. Right. So it's like, it's like, it's soft in the sense of like, you just want to get to know someone, but it also helps the bottom line, honestly, because it's just, it's functionality. I've heard someone say
it's a lot easier to have a hard conversation with somebody you actually like and know versus somebody that you don't like or know, because then you just come off harsh because you don't know how to communicate with them because you don't know them. So the more and better you know them, the better you can have an uncomfortable conversation. If they screwed up or you screwed up, it's like, hey, I admit I screwed up, my bad. It's hard to admit that if you aren't close with who you work with. But in another way that you were talking about was this is, I view it kind of as a business aspect too, but we do quarterly reviews too, because at my other companies I worked with, they never ever did that. Like, we might have a review maybe once a year, and even then it was like very, I don't even say it was informal, like it just didn't happen. And so when I started my own company, I thought, how are people supposed to know how they're doing and get better and or grow as a person or as an employee or as a professional if they don't know where they're missing the mark? So every quarter, I have every single person come into my office and we chat about how they feel like they're doing, how could I help them, how could they help us, like what could we do different? And I feel like that also is part of the culture here. Is like, I'm never complacent. I'll never be mad, of course, but like, I always want something to look forward to, and with for my own people as well, because if not, then you're just plateauing, and that's not good for anybody. So you have something that you're working towards. Let me help you get there, because there's a gnat in here. Let me help you get to where you're going, because ultimately that'll help me get where I want to go, which is a certain benchmark in our business or whatever it is. Unless I know what you want, I can't help you. So.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me, have you read the book Dream Manager?
No.
You should check that one out. For anyone listening in on this one, check out Dream Manager. It's really good. I did Audible. It's basically, getting with your team and understanding what their goals are and helping them achieve them in order to create a better culture and get a better outcome. I also heard from, there's Brandon Dawson, Cardone Ventures, right? Natalie Dawson. Natalie Dawson has a book on culture, and I went through that as well on Audible. And they call it PPF, personal, professional, financial goals, and they go over it on an ongoing basis. We used to do it every week on one-on-ones. We do weekly one-on-ones, daily huddles, that type of thing. It started getting a little bit crazier, so now trying to navigate how to do that in a little bit busier season. But yeah, it's all about how do you maintain it. That's the big question. I had Rufel on here, which has Reggie Brock as a coach, who's like a legend in company culture and all kinds of things business. And he's really good at taking a company that has, tons and tons and tons. It's a big company, and they're still maintaining company culture. And like, how do you do that? Like, how? And like, yeah, we consider ourselves a high performance company, but we still have really good company culture, and they could tell that they do. Yeah. I'm like, wow, that's an achievement. How do you stay so fast paced but still maintain that? And I think that they're doing it. And but yeah, so PPFs, I love that. Personal, professional, financial goals. You get to learn personally. How are you doing professionally, career path wise? Is this where you see yourself? How can we make sure that you see a career path? And then financially, talk to me about what's going on. Like, what are your goals? Oh, I want to buy a home. I want to buy an RV. I want to buy a truck. Okay, let's see. Let's make a plan, right? Mm-hmm. So that way your goals align with our goals. And I also learned something along the lines of like, yeah, everyone wants to be promoted, but there's going to be new behavior traits, new skills, and new responsibilities that come along with those things that you want. But that's a win-win. If you learn these new things, you have new habits, you break some old habits, adopt some leadership habits, then, oh yeah, like there's definitely opportunity, but it becomes a win-win from that standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Where do you think most companies are missing the mark? You kind of touched on a little bit. There's a fast pace. You got to pay bills. In your opinion, where do you feel like most roofing companies are missing the mark there?
Maybe it's just me. I feel like most company owners, don't take this the wrong way, are a little bit out of touch with what really goes on beneath them. And then that makes it harder for them to sympathize, empathize, understand what's going on. And so I like to be as not like on top of everyone, of course, but like very involved in the business. So I know, like, I don't ever ask anybody to do something I wouldn't do myself, right? Like if I ask somebody to go work on a Saturday, go grab a trailer, I do that all the time myself. So I wouldn't expect it if I don't do it myself, right? That's that servant mentality and servant leadership that I think is paramount. I think a lot of business owners, not just roofing, just in general, they just don't think it matters because, like, oh, we're making money and I pay people, so that's good enough. And it's like, I think that people just miss the mark because they just don't think outside the box of, hey, if I was in my own employee's shoes, what would I like? Or if I were to do this, would it be better or worse for us as a company or me as an employee? I think people just don't think about it, and they just are used to how it is or how the status quo used to be. When I think people do need that human interaction, and I know we do roofs, so it's not like it's sexy or anything, but I think there is a lot of personal development and personal relation that needs to happen in roofing, that because you can just send people 30 jobs and you'll never see them and you're like, yeah, I hope you're good. I haven't seen you in weeks, but like, I hope you're good. But it's like, that's not healthy, because then you don't ever check on them. You don't ask how they're doing. You have no idea what they're going through personally. And I don't need to know everything that happens with our people, but I'd like to know a little bit so I can help if I can, or if I've gone through something similar, give them some advice. But you can only learn if you ask, or if you're comfortable enough to have them even share. Because if you feel like a weird, distant boss, they're not gonna feel comfortable saying, "Hey, I'm struggling with this. Could you help me with this?" Like, yeah, for sure, dude. But if you don't know that and they're not comfortable asking you, you would literally have no idea who works for you.
So true. I just said this the other day to my team, which is caring is harder than not caring. Caring about your team, caring about your clients, it's a lot harder. I feel like it can be perceived as like, don't confuse me caring for weakness, right? It's harder. It is definitely harder. I could skirt all kinds of things and make more money if I wanted to, but
Absolutely.
I feel like the best leaders are trying to they want to maintain their integrity, right? Which is, and their connection with the people that they work with, depending on your values. If you value human beings, you want to value human beings, and remember that's the main thing. At the end of your life, are you going to care about how much money you made or how many lives you made an impact on, the rocking chair test, right? So it's harder. It's super hard, to go out of your way, spend the extra time caring about your team, not to mention your customers, right? Going out of your way, doing what you need to do, going above and beyond. I mean, it's more difficult. I think that feels like most things are pretty simple when it comes to it. We're animals, right? And we have, we're like, we do things for reward and consequence, and that's our most of our driving forces for our behaviors. And so it feels like it's a path of least resistance, that maybe somebody's had some it's tough being a business owner. You can have some, if you don't have thick skin, you can get to a place where you're numb, and your path of least resistance is like, oh, I'm just not going to care about anybody because this is what's going to be most functional. And that's the path of least resistance, but yeah, I mean, being willing to pick up your cross and bear the burden. It's like the picture of all the arrows on the back, like you need to be able to, you have to be strong and carry that weight. And that's the calling of a leader. That's what the demand is of that leader, of being a leader, of being, a leader in the company. I mean, and I just think that, it's nice to talk about because, yeah, exactly. That's what's missing in space is it's all about, worship of self. How can I get myself farther? How many heads do I need to step on? If you're just doing head stepping, like, yeah, you'd probably be able to move super fast, but exactly, kind of circling back to what matters at the end of the day. So, yeah, for sure. So, okay, awesome, man. And so for the Christian contractors listening right now, I want you to challenge yourselves that when the going gets tough, that we're still going to stick to caring about our team, caring about our clients, caring about people. And at the end of the day, in the long run, that will pay dividends. That's the thing, is if you can have some delayed gratification, or a lot of delayed gratification sometimes, it will come back, right? And okay, last question for today. What gets you excited about the future in the industry?
I don't believe that our industry will ever go away or be taken by robots or AI, right? Like, yeah, AI will and already is changing a lot of businesses in the roofing industry, but you still can't ask AI or a robot to roof yet. I mean, yeah, I think I saw a video of a robot putting down shingles, but like, I can't think that's very cheap and or easy to maintain or monitor. So I'm optimistic about that, but I mean, everything has a roof, right? Like a car, cars are different, I guess, but like every building has a roof, whether you live underneath it or you work underneath it or you go to church under it, like everybody has a roof. So I don't see roofs going away. And unfortunately, there are a lot of bad roofers out there. So it's kind of job security for us. And we always say, we save you from bad roofers. That's like our slogan, because there are a lot of bad roofers out there.
That's
And
good.
that also gets me excited because job security, not that I want ill for people, of course, I don't want them to choose bad roofers, but I just got a call yesterday from a client that chose somebody that was cheaper than us. Like, whatever, dude, by all means. And he texted me yesterday, oh, hey, by the way, this guy that did it didn't do a good job. Can you come and fix it? And I was like, yeah, kind of karma, but I didn't want to say I told you so, but sure, like, I'm happy to help. And then immediately after that, he's like, oh, wait, actually, the guy texted me back. I'm just going to have him do it because it'll be my, again, I don't care. Like, we'll still be blessed no matter what. But like, you literally just told me you guys screwed up and then you're asking him to do more work. Like, there are people out there like that. So I'm like, there's optimism in that, I think, with roofing not going anywhere. And I mean, we're in a market where we're very blessed and there's an abundance of work. Like you said, an abundance mindset, because I think it's really crucial to not have the scarcity mindset, because there's never any shortage of work. You just have to know where to look for it or be good enough to, get it when it comes to you. And you have to be prepared, of course, but when the time comes, are you able to actually take it on and do a good job? That's up to you. But there is work out there. There always is. It's just where you look for it or if you're ready for it. So.
Yeah, so true. I just heard somebody, I can't remember where I saw it, but definitely it was like roofers, plumbers, etc. is about to go up. They're about to earn more money than they ever have thanks to AI. The supply and demand chain is going to flux, and roofing companies are about, all the right home service companies and industries are about to really see a bump. And as we've seen the stock market, it goes up, it goes down. There's a bubble, there's a dip. It's going to happen, right? Well, so after all these years of watching this, and I'm sure Buffett, says the same thing. He's like, well, he has his own philosophy, which is slow and steady, but it's like, dude, it's going to go up, it's going to go down, like ride the wave. If it's about to go up, like let's go up. And if it's going to
bear markets, there's bull markets. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because you still have to survive. So,
and AI coming into the space, my opinion is that it's the abundance mindset. There's a million things that are wrong and a million things that are right at any given moment. Which page you decide to look at and focus on determines the quality of your life. And if we focus on AI, that it's going to optimize what we do. Like right now, the way that I personally have been integrated AI into my marketing and sales company, is it's amplifying my team, right? They're doing, it's like in Avatar when they put on the metal suits, it's like, that's AI for you. You now are way stronger, can do way more things like now, but it's expected, that's the requirement to have a job now. Like it's like, oh, I don't know how to use a computer. I've never used a computer. I don't know what the internet is. Probably going to be hard to hire you, right? It's the same thing as the internet, right? The internet computer is like, it's going to become a calculator, an iPhone, a phone, right? Everybody's going to need to figure it out. Everyone's going to use it like a calculator in their workflows. and it's just going to become the new normal. So start adopting it as far as like being a team member, employee. There's a lot of opportunity for employees listening in, right? This is opportunity for you to learn and actually be more desirable in the marketplace by learning some pretty simple things. It's just literally people have a mental block, I think, sometimes. So that's actually going to create an opportunity. And then eventually they're going to come and adopt. But with, so we've adopted it to do more with roofing, right? Who knows what's going to happen? Time's going to come. Things are going to come and things are going to change. And I see it being, it's going to amplify what we can do. Maybe we can do 10 roofs in the time that we could do one roof. And still you're going to need your human overseers of every single thing. And maybe now instead of having a crew of, 10 guys, you only have 3 or 5, but now you're doing 20 roofs instead of 5 roofs. Right. And there's no reason for anybody to get let go. There will be consolidation of businesses. That's always been a part of the discussion is like, right, private equity is coming in. They're going to, do these things and improve the market. And it's just a never ending cycle. And I think if we have that abundance mindset and focus on like, hey, let's look at how this isn't a good thing. And we've heard from some of the best investors, right? When there's a shakeup, there's opportunity in the market. So look for that opportunity instead of being afraid of it. Run. Or this was also my mindset with COVID. Everyone was running away from the fire, and I was trying to run towards it, right? And then it's one of those scenarios where, wow, it paid off because obviously there was quite a big increase after. So that's that's what has me excited about the future as well. So awesome. Appreciate you, Zach. So glad to have had you on the podcast today. For a Christian contractor listening in today, I pray that you've taken away some awesome gold nuggets. Let's pause. Let's remember to, it could be as far as like an action item. I mean, it could be as little as like, you know what? I'm going to start doing PPFs with my team. I'm going to figure it out. Maybe it's once a month. Maybe it's once a week. Maybe it's once a quarter. Maybe it's one, whatever makes sense. And put that in your calendar right here, right now. You're listening to it. This is a divine appointment. Put it in your calendar, make it happen. And I'm going to do it myself too. So awesome. Zach, where can people find you?
Anywhere on social media, pretty much. We're on the Google, we're on the Facebook, we're on the Instagram, YouTube. I think we're on TikTok too. Where else? LinkedIn. Pretty much anywhere you can find me or find our company. So, but I mean, it's Icon Roofing, of course. We're out of Mesa. There are a few other Icon Roofings in the country, but that's not us. We're just in Mesa, in Arizona.
Awesome. Icon Roofing, Mesa, Arizona. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Christian Contractor Podcast. I'm Brandon Guthrie with Dream Design Labs. If you're a Christian contractor that wants to grow your business in God's name, learn how we do just that at go.dreamdesignlabs.com/apply. Check it out. It's free, and I guarantee you'll get great value from the content. Remember, marketing doesn't have to be hard. All you need is the right tools and the right heart to serve. Till next time, stay blessed. Zach, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks, Brandon.